I'm super pumped to have Tim Sanders in my house.
We're here.
He is here for campus tonight. Don't you wish you were here?
Well, I wish I was.
You are here.
I am here.
And you are here too, because we have you. We're doing this video, and I'm so pumped about it. So I'm glad everybody's going to be walking in a few minutes, and so we thought we'd start early. And Tim has this really great thing that we thought we would do for part 2. And I'm so excited about it. It's called Stuff My Grandma Said.
Yeah, great stuff my grandma said. You can go to it on Facebook. It's a Facebook wall where everybody can post
Awesome.
the coolest things their grandma ever said that inspired you, made you who you are. If you want to go to it, I know you're going to link to it after this video. It's real simple. tinyurl.com/grandma said.
Easy.
Easy. So, you know, I'm hoping a lot of folks that watch this take us up on it, and they go to the wall and they post some of those cool things, because I was thinking about it. You know, in the book, I quote a lot of things that my grandma Billy said. That's the whole heart of the book.
Yeah.
You know?
Awesome.
And I got a couple of them for you.
Yeah.
So let's go through some of these.
I would love it.
So she said, it's okay to make mistakes, just make new ones. That's what she raised me on. Isn't that great? She says, everybody's generous during a boom market, but only the real deals give when it hurts. I like that one. She says, I've never met a devil's advocate that had any good ideas.
You know I like that one.
She said, gratitude is a muscle, not a feeling. If it was a feeling, you'd feel it all the time. Here's a favorite one that Grandma said. Success is not a destination, it is a direction. Forward. Isn't that great?
Yes, I love that.
She said, criticism is a gift. It always tells you something about you are the person that gave it to you. I love that one. Attitude is important, she said, so pick a good one. The last thing she said is no one wants to hire somebody that needs a job. They want to hire somebody that believes in themselves. So these are just all examples of great stuff my grandma said.
Yep.
And, you know, the reason I'm excited about this right now is that we live in this bleep my dad says culture,
yes,
where we just make fun of our parents and our grandparents.
Yes.
But they taught us everything we need to know.
Yes.
And if you think about Bill Clinton and Jamie Foxx and a variety of other famous people, Bill Withers is another example, they point back to the influence their grandma said.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. We grew up on their shoulders.
We did, you know, and they call them the greatest generation for a reason. You know?
Yes.
And so I just hope that people out there go to tinyurl.com/grandma said. It's a Facebook page, and contribute something. And you know, I told you, we're going to make a pretty special offer.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes. I like special offers. I like them.
Here is the special offer that we're going to make. We've got a couple of literary agents and a couple of publishers that are going to review this Facebook page, Great Stuff My Grandma Said. And we're going to find somebody that's got a story, like I did. Because today we are rich. It's all about my grandma and the lessons she taught me, right?
Yes.
And so we're watching that page for the next few months, and somebody's going to go on there, and they're going to have such great stuff that Grandma said. We are going to sign that person, and we are going to put their book out. I guarantee that that book will be put out at the very least as an electronic book on Amazon, and we will help publish your story so that your grandma that made a difference in your life will live forever. And that is my promise to you, my promise to your viewers, and I'm excited about hearing these stories. And you can also, awesome. You can even email me at tim@timsanders.com if you want to make sure and give me more than just some one-liners. I'd love to hear your story too.
Yeah, I'll give you a link for that as well. So Tim, tell me a little bit, can we go on a little bit?
Let's do it.
And talk a little bit about what was the most difficult thing about writing your book. I know writing a book is tough, and sometimes it's even more difficult when we're so forward. You were so honest, and I could just picture that water tower. And so I'd love to hear what maybe was the most difficult thing about the book.
So I couldn't write an effective book without really helping people see me warts and all. And I had to really tell my story and tell some things that I really never told anybody outside of my family. And the most difficult thing I talked about was when my father was murdered. And I'm going to tell you something secret that not a lot of people know, and that is, and maybe if I've told you, but I don't think I've told your audience, the color of this book, this red.
Oh, no.
This is the candy apple red that car was, my car in high school. The one I was driving, that Pontiac Astra, that fateful day in 1981 when my uncle pulled me over and let me know that my father had been murdered. A week before we were going to be reunited and I was going to live with him. You know, and it was a very difficult part of my life. And to write that story, I had to go back and relive the whole experience. It was very depressing. I mean, when I was writing it a year and a half ago, I was just inconsolable because it's not just that I lost my father, I lost my faith, Randy. I mean, when I went back to the house and Billy wanted to take me in her arms and tell me everything was okay, I pushed her away because that's how some people react to something like a tragedy. You know, I focused a lot on people not reacting to the recession well. Well, you think losing your money's bad? How about losing your dad? Or how about losing your son? Or how about losing somebody that matters to you? Some of us react poorly, like I did. I rejected the faith. I rejected Billy's plan. I said, how in the world would God do that to us after all we went through? And I walked away. And I paid the price. 13 years I went sideways in my life. Just stumbling around until I got to that water tower and realized there was only one direction, and that was home. Go back to my rock. Dust off the Bible, renew my faith. And be a communicator. And follow my purpose. Scripture from Hebrews, right? Promote good works and outbursts of love, especially as we gather in public, not forsaking the last days. You know, and I live that now. And in the book I tell a story that was very difficult for a man to share with me. His name is Jay Beckley. And Jay Beckley, he and I worked together at Yahoo. And I hadn't talked to him for a few years, and on Facebook one day I said, have you got any stories about dealing with adversity? And he stepped up and he goes, I got a story for you. And he told me a really touching story about he and his little boy Miles, 5-year-old, beautiful kid, and his other 2 kids and his wife. They went to Costa Rica on vacation a few years ago, and one night he and Miles and his daughter were riding on horses in the sunset on the beach. And something spooked the horse that little Miles was on, and the tour guide had accidentally let go of the reins, and the horse ran off in the beach, and little Miles fell off the horse, but his foot got stuck in the stirrups, and he was dragged down the beach and suffered incredible head injuries. And Jay said that Miles died in his arms in the hospital just a few hours later. And Jay, you know, he had a crossroads like I did. And he could have rejected his faith, and he could have gotten very, you know, hateful and spent the rest of his life trying to persecute this Jose, he said, this tour guide. But he made a decision that hate versus love, what are you going to do? He says, I've got 2 more kids and a wife that loves me, and nothing can bring Miles back. So he said that he started to give. And the first gift he gave was he gave Jose his life back. Because Jose was out in the foyer of the hospital crying because he let go of the reins. He didn't mean to. So he said he went up to this man he didn't even know, and he hugged him, and he consoled him, and he said everything's going to be all right. And he gave Jose his life back, because you know how that would go. And he created a fund back in Detroit where he's from, Jay did. And he said, I don't want sympathy, I want you to donate money in Miles' name. They call it Smiles Day, because Miles had such a big, beautiful smile. And they started to create a benefit every year, and they're going to have one this September. And all the proceeds from my Amazon.com affiliates and all my author royalties are being donated to this fund. They're creating a scholarship fund for one lucky kid who's at risk in Detroit to go to the best private school in town, and it's called Smiles Day. And what Jay taught me was that you can either go sideways or go forward. And I just spent time with him in New York, and he's a light right now, and he's never been happier in his marriage, and he's a good father, and he's a recovering alcoholic, and he said he would not have lived if he would have done what I did when my father died. And as tough as it was for me to interview him and have that, it's just thrilling to know that for parents out there and for other people out there, you can give your way out of grief, and you can create life after death if you'll just be big enough. And as Jay said, don't test your faith. Let your faith test you. And that is one of the most difficult things that I write about, and it's very difficult for me to talk about, because not because of my ego that I got it wrong, but because I wish I could turn back the hands of time. And I wish that for my dad, Tom Sanders, I could have done something for him like that. But instead I went 13 years filled with hatred. So I just hope other people don't make the same mistake I did. And I hope that they take the example that Jay set for us and make a difference out of a bad thing.
That's awesome, Tim. And then you just heard this compelling story, and that's the way Tim writes. And this book, from the time I started it until I put it down, I could not quit. And several of my readers have told me that they were just in tears. And one of the friends I know that reads my blog, he also had a similar experience with his dad, and it just ministered to him so much. And so I just highly recommend the book. It's just tremendous. And in fact, we want to rock Amazon today. Okay,
420, 420, a unique 420? Celebration of 420. Not what you're thinking.
Okay, let's do it this way. 420, let's rock Amazon and just buy the heck out of this book. One of the best things you could do is buy it for a few friends, because the truths in this will make them come back and thank you eternally. So it's just a great book. Today We Are Rich. And I'm honored you're here at our house.
Absolutely.
And,
you know, I'm going to give you a track that I've not given anybody in the world, because, you know, Randy knows I used to be a musician in my last life. I'm certainly not at the level of folks here in Nashville or Franklin, etc. But Dusty Wakefield, common friend of ours, helped put together a recording called Back to Eden. It's an acoustic, played it on my acoustic track, and it's about losing my father, and it's about going back home and facing my past. And I've never played it for anybody outside my immediate family. Randy, I'm going to give that to you to offer people as a download or a link to it, because I just want to open up a little bit to the Elrod Network. Over 200 of your friends emailed me for that free ebook. You know, and that's a measure of an incredible influence on your part. And they were very cool people. I'm talking lead pastors. I'm talking to communicators and musicians. It was just such a wonderful community you introduced me to. And I just want to give back. And I want to be there for you if you lose somebody in your life over the next few years. Just remember Tim at timsanders.com. I answer, as you know, all my emails. I don't sleep. I answer them. And I want you to know that I'm a part of your community, and I think I'm going to come out and do something with you on one of your future events.
Yes,
right?
And I'm honored to have Tim as a part of our community, and in our social networking community, but also tonight in our campus community. So we're going to have a blast. We're going to have
rockin' cool.
Good old Mexican food.
Lovely.
And lots of fun. So thank you so much. We'll see you later.